What's up, people? I'm Chibuzo Wanchuku. I'd appreciate you liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Josep Borrell from the EU made comparisons. He compared Europe and Africa, respectively, with a garden and a jungle. Yet, he said something to justify getting into Africa. I mean, Europeans visiting Africa despite not wanting Africans to visit European countries. I wrote clips.
Here, Bruges is a good example of the European garden. Yes, Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. It's the best combination of political freedom, economic prosperity, and social cohesion that the humankind has been able to build. The three things together. And here, Bruges is maybe the good representation of beautiful things, intellectual life, well-being. The rest of the world, and you know very well, Federica, is not exactly a garden. The rest of the world, most of the rest of the world is a jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden. And the gardeners should take care of it. Should take care of the garden, but they will not protect the garden by walls, by building walls. A nice small garden surrounded by high walls in order to prevent the jungle coming in is not going to be a solution, because the jungle has a strong growth capacity and the wall will never be high enough in order to protect the garden. The gardeners have to go to the jungle. The Europeans has to be much more engaged with the rest of the world. Otherwise, the rest of the world will invade us by different ways and means. Yes, this is my most important message. We have to be much more engaged with the rest of the world. We are privileged people. We built a combination of these three things: political freedom, economic prosperity, social cohesion, and we cannot pretend to survive as an exception. It has to be a way of supporting the others, facing the big challenges of our time.
If Europe is a garden and Africa is a jungle, that the European officials don't want Africans coming into their continent, why would they visit the jungle? Why would people of the garden want to interact with the creatures of the jungle? Why would they go into the jungle instead of building walls around the garden? This man is talking about stealing resources from Africa. If the EU and the West actually want the resources, why not pay the fair price? Why go there to steal? This is about being black. The people are so evil and greedy. They use various tactics to steal the resources, including having leaders help them. Such leaders are puppets, which is why a lot of Africans try to get to Europe illegally. They go by boats. Many of them don't make it to Europe. They die in the water. Those that successfully reach Europe are later on deported. People keep saying that blacks steal, but what about the people that steal resources from Africa? Are they blacks? All of them, or nearly all of them, are not blacks. If a lot of blacks commit crimes in the Western nations, it is because those white supremacists sabotage them economically. They are the root of that problem. If those people, I mean, the EU officials and the officials of the West, don't like Africa, then they need to stay out of there. They go there to steal, which is wrong. The resources belong wherever they are found. The resources in European countries belong to those European countries. Likewise, the resources found in African countries belong to the African countries. The Europeans don't own them. The Americans and the Canadians don't own them either. If they want to acquire such resources, they should pay for them. I'm glad that African countries now are planning to use the raw materials to make finished products. If the West and the EU have a problem with it, then that is their problem. They already stole lots from the continent. That dude tries to justify going into Africa without Africans going into Europe. He's a piece of garbage. I am glad that some African countries have turned away from the West. The EU and the West should not be welcome in Africa for what they did. The rest of the world apparently have turned against them, which is what BRICS is about. Leaders of African countries still serving the West need to wake up. They heard what that guy said. They need to wake up. If they don't, then they should be discarded. The people of their countries need to get rid of them. Revolution, which people call coups, would be a good idea. If Europe is a garden and Africa is a jungle, then the EU needs to stay completely out of Africa. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.